So thank you and welcome to Women Leaders Walk the Talk. I am Kristen Webb, your Chief Leadership Enthusiast, and I'm so glad that you all are joining us tonight. You all don't know this, but we are restarting this episode, and I'm so excited. I'm like, why am I restating it? Because I'm just authentic like that, right? So it is what it is. But tonight, we have an opportunity to talk all things women, leadership, and procurement. And if you're wondering what procurement is, it simply means there is someone in an agency, an organization that you work for, that you visit every day that is buying something. It doesn't matter what it is. They may be buying a pen, they may be buying a transformer, they may be buying services, but they are buying goods and services that your organization needs so that you can do your job every single day. And so these ladies who sit alongside of me tonight, they do this on a regular basis and have been doing it for a very long time. And I want to make sure that I shed light on procurement for bias reasons, because I've basically been raised in procurement, but also to shed light on the industry. Maybe it's something you want to know about it, but to again also shed the light on some amazing women leaders and their journeys, and kind of see how we can incorporate their journeys into our own so we can continue being better. So with that, I'm going to introduce really quickly. We have to my left, Clarissa Clark. I said it this time. Clarissa Clark with the University of South Carolina. She is the director of purchasing, and just an amazing human being. And so I can't wait to hear from Clarissa. So if you want to say hello to everyone.
Hello, everyone. Thank you.
Awesome. And we do have a studio audience, just so you know. This is our pop-up shop, or our pop-up show, rather, where we're kind of going to be coming to you from a different format, but looking forward to sharing. And so next to me is Stacy Gregg. Let me make sure I say this correctly. The Stacy Gregg, because you can only say her name like that. But the Stacy Gregg, she is South Carolina State's Director of Procurement. Did I get it right? Yeah, I'm proud of myself for that. She's been with procurement probably 26 plus years, roughly. All right, and she, again, a very powerful, motivating individual in the procurement space and beyond. And lastly, we have Faith Williams with the University of South Carolina, and she is the procurement manager too. Did I get it right? I'm winning, like I'm 3 for 3 this time. But just another amazing procurement professional that is impacting higher education in different ways. So did I get that right? Because you're at the University of South Carolina, right?
Yes.
Higher education.
Tell me that's the university.
Yeah, the University of State.
It is the university.
Said, y'all are Bulldogs.
We're Bulldogs.
What are you all?
Gamecocks.
Gamecocks. Okay, they said it like I was supposed to know. I'm from Tennessee, just in case, but I like learning. So that's good. All right. So first thing I want to do is just have each of the ladies kind of share their story of how they arrived at procurement and public procurement. So whoever wants to start and begin, just a little bit about yourself and how you got into procurement.
I'm Faith Williams, as she stated, and I've been in procurement over 29 years. With that, 9 years have been in public procurement, and after being laid off twice from the same job, past 50, I figured I need to go into state government, and I just got my bachelor's degree. I'm an adult graduate. I just got my bachelor's degree from Columbia College, and position for procurement with the state, and I took it.
Awesome. Thank you for taking it.
Yes,
thank you for taking it.
I am so thankful I took it.
Every time I hear Faith share her story, I really appreciate, again, the idea or that you get to demonstrate how you can leave careers, right? You can have multiple careers your entire life. You don't have to be stuck to one. We don't have to do what Mom and them did, right? Mom and them did some very, very meaningful work, but we can take that and we can expand on it and we can grow and make it work for us. So knowing that you can do multiple careers in your time and be able to make impact in all of them is awesome. So thank you for that, Faith.
Thank you.
All right, so did I get everybody? Did I introduce myself? Did I get everybody? Who I missed?
You introduced everyone, but that first question was, how did
Yeah,
that was the first
what was
question.
the first question?
Faith had the first question about how she managed procurement.
Okay, so then we hear her say, y'all keep me on point.
Yeah.
You are slicing and dicing this, right? Slicing.
Yeah, I'm gonna do all that.
Okay.
I'm gonna do all that. So yeah, tell us how you got into procurement. I'm gonna do all of that.
So I actually started in procurement very young, as a very young person, as a temp. A lot of people in our space say they fell into procurement. I absolutely fell into procurement. And so I went to Richland School District 1 as a temp worker for a temp agency, and ended up getting hired as a data entry clerk and just basically worked my way up into the position that I am now at South Carolina State University.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you for your service. What about you, Clarissa?
Well, I graduated from Clemson University and it was 6 months out and didn't have a job. And I came from a small town and they called me and said, hey, do you have a job? We have something over here for you. So I started working in Bamberg at the Disability and Special Needs Board. And I started working with with a group home and doing the purchasing for that group home. And then went into private sector. But then after that, in 1996, went back to the public procurement at Denmark Technical College. That was my major start into purchasing. And after I got there, I got the job, and then they told me I had 2 years that I had to be certified. And I didn't even know what that meant, but I did what they said to do. And I got my certification in the 2 years, and everything started from that point. And I love procurement. I still love procurement. It just it's a passion now for me, and to help other young learners and to know about purchasing and what we do.
What you made me think about right there is certifications and how that is so key. Like at one time it was degree, right? And we are seeing this translation to like, what are your certifications? What are you doing to support? How are you an expert? Because the certification generally like reflects your expertise versus the degree being more of a wholesome, more comprehensive and overview of something. So definitely thank you for that. So get your certification.
Yes.
If you're going to be in procurement, we highly recommend it. I'm not going to say which one, okay? Because there are many.
I'll say it.
Go ahead, say it.
I'm being facetious.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a political topic. That's why I said I'll say.
But there really are tons if we talk about certifications in procurement, and they are key to being able to enter the market, to be able to navigate the market, to be able to promote in the market. So I definitely highly encourage. And we're not going to say which one.
Choose what's best for you.
Choose what's best for you. I like that. Choose what's best for you. Awesome.
Yeah.
Whichever one, Stacy.
Call me.
Contact Stacy. We'll talk about how you can contact Stacy a little later as well. So let's talk about women in leadership. Let's talk about women in procurement. One, we know, or I would say that I feel like when I look at the last 20 years of procurement, you are starting to see more women in leadership roles. Would y'all agree or disagree? Mm-hmm. What do you think contributes to that? What do you think has contributed to that increase or that change that's happening?
That's a good question.
I know. I don't even know if I get it.
You know what? And not just in procurement, but what I see is that the way Stacy said it, she started off as a temp and she worked her way up. Mm-hmm. There are a lot of women that I know that are in positions of leadership, especially us. We had to work our way up. Mm-hmm. It's not like we walked in mid-level or even at the top. We had to start and work our way up. So I think it's a lot to do with where we are or where we started from, and we set the foundation. Mm-hmm. And with those foundations, we kept building on.
Right.
And thankfully, someone saw something in us. Mm-hmm. Sometimes things that we didn't even see in ourselves.
Yeah. And
those promotions and people started encouraging you and pushing you out of your comfort zone. That's what I think it is. It is because we've been in something so long and we've shown that we have commitment.
Correct. And being able to understand it from ground level up, right? It makes a difference. And I mean, we talk about it all the time in leadership, how do you make sure your bottom, those are people, your folks that are at the level one that know the work, that know what the complaints are, they know what the pain points, and really typically have all the solutions. Mm-hmm. But to be able to start there and progress makes you that much more effective, right? But what do you all think some reasons are that's contributing to more women entering leadership roles in procurement?
I think that, even if a person does not know what procurement is and know that it has something to do with purchasing, most women have an inherent ability to know, I can buy.
We know how to buy.
Buy things.
Say buy things.
Buy things. And whether it's taking care of your household or whether it's taking care of other things, you can do that. And so that's the foundation right there.
Yeah.
And then you build upon all of that. And I think that's a way of a lot of people getting into the purchasing field.
Love it, love it. So y'all hear some different ways that you may want to consider entering the field. But let's get back on this bad thing. Let's talk about this bad thing. What's been your favorite thing? Because this time we got it. What's been your favorite thing that you have bought as a procurement professional?
Okay, with me, and then it changes every other minute because I have so many favorites. But while at Richland 1 School District, I worked there as well. I did the construction procurement there at Richland 1. And we had a program with a school, it was C.A. Johnson High School, which is a historic Black high school in the Columbia, South Carolina area. And that school fed into, what was the school it fed into? W.A. Perry. So what we were doing is there was a program and they were putting in medical equipment and for the nursing program for that school. And I love the fact that they were going to start these kids in the middle school area and then let them transition into the high school and learn that how to do the medical field and the nursing program. That time, they didn't have any such thing in Columbia at that time. They do have it now, but Richland 1 was the forefront in doing that type of program. And it was very instrumental to me because it was a lot of Black folk, okay? It was a lot of, because it was a historically Black high school. And I saw there was a need for these students to learn that in our Columbia area. And I love just being a part of that.
Change making again, impact, community. I love it. I love it. Thank you for that. And a lot of times I think in procurement, we think about goods all the time. We think about the tangible stuff, the pencils and the paper but the services to me tend to be some of the most instrumental components because those are really lifestyle changing most times. I mean, we need the goods to be able to support those things, but the services that are being carried out can be really impactful. So that was a great example. Yeah, thank you. How about y'all? Favorite thing? What are we buying?
I got the opportunity to secure barber and cosmetology equipment for Denmark Technical College in 2019. Working with tech board here, and in 2022, I have a nephew who graduated from high school, and he wanted to go in the barbering program. And I must say, Denmark Tech has one of the best barbering programs here in the state. And he got the opportunity to work with that barbering equipment that I was responsible for procuring the vendor to get.
I love it. I love it. Full circle moment, right? So I always like to share the story. When I first started procurement, I was riding down the street and I was in charge of electrical voltage and wire. So I remember just looking at the lights, and every time I got ready to go or I had to stop or I had to, slow down, I was like, I probably had something to do with it, right? So there's this immediate gratification almost that you get. I mean, don't be wrong, it's not that immediate because we spend months and months and months, trying to get a solicitation out and trying to get an award on the street. But when it actually happens and you get to reap and see the benefits from it, it is such a good feeling. I always say that was my why, like that was my aha moment to see what we were really doing in procurement. So that definitely the barber equipment. Who's thinking barber equipment is helping? Anybody, you just like it's some clippers.
That's all.
Maybe a tattoo. It's so much more than that.
Program.
Yeah, I love it. I think I've seen an agency do that with their re-entry program where they have cosmetology and barber programs. And what about you, Stacy?
So my favorite was following. Well, it was two natural disasters in South Carolina where we actually got to put elderly, disabled, and people, I don't want to say poverty, but people who could not afford to repair homes following national disasters, we actually got to rebuild their homes. Basically, we rehabbed it if the homes could be rehabbed. If they were living in stick-built homes, we tore them down and put mods in their place. And if they were living in mobile homes, we drug them off the lot and put new mobile homes in their place. So people who were living in mold and mildew got brand new places to live. And I'm most proud of this one because we watched people all over the country try to do it. And ours was the very first program that saw success. And so that's something that I awarded in October. I had my first citizen in their home for Christmas that year.
So you all actually got to be a model for
the rest of the country.
For life sustainability, for housing. Like that's a big deal. Like we don't even think about how housing is a part of procurement. Like we touch everything. In the audience, what are y'all touching?
Like, what are we touching?
Buildings.
Buildings,
Yeah.
construction,
Dorms. Yeah.
construction. What
Yeah.
else?
Or providing, even for buildings, providing new LED lighting,
LED lights.
especially for schools or.
Right, in unsafe
Furniture.
conditions,
Right.
we're stopping crime.
Yes, yes. I always say my favorite procurement, and I don't have anything heavy for y'all, okay? My favorite procurement was buying mattresses for law enforcement. And I think it was just so awing that even in procurement, we're buying like super basic necessities, even for that population that we typically don't even pay attention to, and we don't realize that they still need a livable, condition to be in. Now, we'll say, y'all mattresses are not that comfortable. I need the manufacturers to work on that, okay? Because I actually got a chance to lay on one because I'm a little corny like that. I like to test it out, and I got a picture of it. I'll never share it. But definitely, that was probably one of my most fun and rewarding, because even in their population, we don't think about law enforcement or inmates in jails. We criminalize them. We think about the hard part, but what about the part where we're still creating life and livable conditions as they serve their time? So, all right, good deal. So,
One thing I want to
yeah.
say that Stacy had stated, during that flood you're talking about 2015, one of our disasters, we would go to the emergency management division. And the thing about it, these people are out here doing their job, but there is no bathroom. I was responsible for getting porta johns to various locations, things that simple that people needed. And they were calling. I know people needed equipment for various things, but we need to get porta johns out there. We have all these people coming out here to work. They don't have nowhere to go.
Yeah.
So just this simple things that you never think about.
yeah. And that makes me think about how, if anybody during the pandemic, I just want to say that we were heroes. Okay, I want to make sure y'all see it very clearly on the camera. Like procurement, it doesn't matter the agency, but if it was a public agency specifically, because we have a responsibility to respond to the public. You all are paying us to make sure we do this. The pandemic was a tough time for us in making sure that we were able to provide like just necessities. So when I think about procurement, I think about strategy, and I think about complexity. It's not just administrators. So if you're a person that likes analytical work, if you like ever-changing work, if you like problem solving, this is the space to be in. But when I think about the pandemic, talk about like the challenges that you had, and what are the strengths that you feel like you got from it that you're still using today and continue.
The big thing with the pandemic, I think that I saw was, how everybody went home to work, right? And there was all this talk about having the discipline to show up for work. There also had to be a discipline for some people to stop working. And so one of the big things I learned was you got to prioritize taking care of yourself, because we were so run down and beat up. And it was like, I can remember there was a conversation about, if I can't get Lysol for my house, how are you going to get Lysol for the campus? Which I did, because I'm Stacy. But it took us working all night. So I knew that I had colleagues on the West Coast that was still working. And because procurement is a very small network, we all know each other all across the country. I'm working until 8 o'clock because I know that they're working until 5 and they're 3 hours behind me, and they can help me get what I need for my citizens.
I love it.
With the pandemic, my previous employer, they were telling me that's when I began to shine. I had no idea. We had to be put into groups, and they selected to put me over a group of, it was 3 of us, and I was the team lead. And it was for the gowns, the hats, and the booties that they put on. And we worked really hard. And I was told that it was in that time, so when you went home, that's when you did your most shining. So I didn't see it. All I saw is I got to get this done. We have, as a team, let's do what we need to do. Each morning I get up, I say my good mornings, and I already have everything. We're trying to be as equitable as possible in getting us to work, trying to finish it up. The work-life balance went out the window. But I enjoyed doing what I did.
Mhm.
And as time went on, when we went back into the office, that's when I was told that you really stepped up to the plate. I didn't think so. It was a group of us and we had a job. We needed to do it and still show a lot of customer service.
I love it. You know what came to mind? Diamonds work best under pressure. They're developed under pressure, so diamonds under pressure, diamonds develop under pressure. Let me hear you say it.
Diamonds develop under pressure.
Absolutely. I mean, we don't want it to be that way. It
Well,
is. No,
it is.
But you-
You know, for us, Stacy worked with me at the time at the university, but, for us, we were, the procurement department, I think, was in the background for previous emergencies. But for this particular one, I was the new director and I took the lead in trying to make sure that we got what we need, because that's what we do. And what we found is that, we had people that, as Stacy said, how can y'all do this? You can't do this and you can't do that. That drove us even more to show you that we have resources, that we can get what we need. But not just that, there was a lot of price gouging going on. There was a lot of, vendors that were out there doing all kinds of things that were not credible. So we were able to identify some things and made better choices for the university. And really, that was our time to shine. And we had new administration folk there, and they saw what we were doing and they relied on us a lot more after that. They saw what we did, and we had a new president at the time and a new chief operating officer, and they trusted us at that, not at first, because they built their facilities and all those, they should handle that. But then as we started getting everything they needed, they started trusting us a lot more, and we came out with a much better relationship with facilities as well as with our administration, because they knew the value of what we do now, not just being a paper pusher, but because we're never a paper pusher.
I love it. I love it. Procurement is absolutely collaboration. Like if you don't want to collaborate in procurement, you might want to find another industry to be in. You saw it's called
Right.
yeah, even in accounting, they have to work with people, but right, you gotta go somewhere and be a mind, like where you don't even have to talk to people. Because procurement, so that's one thing I love about procurement. It is a very people focused, people facing, people oriented type of, you know, facility or type of industry, I would say. So then that makes me think about, we can't do it by ourselves. We do not do it by ourselves. You mentioned like our user areas and things like that, but when we talk about being a woman in procurement and maybe even being a woman in leadership, we had to rely on somebody. It's been somebody before us, somebody who stood alongside of us. And I specifically want to talk about the women that did that. Who are some women that along your procurement journey have stood out, that have really encouraged you to keep you motivated to stay in the space? Because some days we got days where we're like, you know what? I've had enough of this. How about y'all? Y'all had enough some days? I mean, that's any job, right? But in procurement, it can get really pressuring. It's always fast paced. The politics is always there, especially in public procurement. But who has been that person that has kept you motivated
I want
to
to start.
stay? Come on.
I want to start with this one because we have a great network of people that I have a great network that I and work with, deal with, and I feel that iron sharpens iron.
Absolutely.
And I have those sisters in my corner that they tell me, they pull my coat, pull my coat when they need to, and I do the same for them. And we always try to elevate each other, and always try to find the best way of doing things. And sometimes people can see something in you that you can't even see in yourself, and I love that camaraderie with the sisters in my little sister circle. It's not a large circle, but it's a sister circle. And even some that's in our audience is a part of that circle,
Absolutely.
and I love that.
Awesome. Iron sharpens iron. That's what I got. Let me hear you say it. Iron sharpens. Absolutely. And you left some more nuggets here too, but that was good. That was good. Absolutely. We have to find those people, keep them in our spaces. It's necessary to be able to be successful for ourselves and for the organizations. What about you, Stacy? Who's your person?
So there's been plenty. But when I think back to when I was first learning how to be an instructor, right? We had to audit classes, and so I audited a class with a lady who is a legend in procurement by the name of Barb Johnson.
Barb.
Right. So
shout out to Barb Johnson.
Shout out to Barb. Barb is like the queen of procurement. nationally, right? And so I ended up auditing a strategic planning course under Barb, and I was not the best student. I probably was the worst she ever saw, but she didn't give up on me. And from that course, I went and sat for a CPP of my CPPO certification and ended up passing. And so I'm like, if it had not been for Barb and what she poured into me, I would have never gotten that certification. But even over the years, Barb, like to this day, I just saw her last week, continues to pour into me, where she feels like I probably don't need it. And it has meant so much.
I love it. Shout out Barb to Barb.
Yes, we'll send her a copy.
We are gonna send her.
Yes.
You're gonna get a copy, Barb. What
Well,
about you, Faith?
the person that's pushed me sits right next to me.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
And Stacy and I got to state procurement and I went there. Disclaimer, I went there because I needed a job. I'm about to retire. I want to retire in 10 years. I need a job. This is it. Stacy came a few months later and we were just talking and she asked me, I told her I wanted to go to SCAGPO in 2015. And she was like, oh, well, just tell her that you plan on taking, you want to get certification. I said, okay. No, she had asked me earlier, oh no, I can sit right here for these next 10 years and I'm good. Go home.
I don't want to improve. I don't want to do that.
I don't want to do that, not interested. And as soon as I told my manager, my director, that I wanted to, she asked me, was I interested in certification? Yes, because I'm trying to get to SCAGPO. I heard it was a good place to go. And Stacy comes behind a few days later. Did you tell Kimberly? Yeah, you told her you want to get certificated. Good. So I have no interest in this. I have all 3 certifications. Fast forward 9 years. I have all 3 certifications, and I told her that I'm not gonna do anything else. But yet I sit here with you today because she got me here too. She's my biggest motivator, and I think she's not just for me. I'm looking at Candace here. If she pushes and she'll ask, she's always pulling something out. I think you mentioned your former coworker, a young lady named Charlene that works with us. She mentioned, she said, Stacy just calls me. And she's always keeping us abreast of things. So she's serious about making sure her sisters, she's not one that left us behind. That's how I got to meet Clarissa and just so many other people that I was not even interested. All I want to do is work these 10 years and go home.
I love it.
When I said
I'm
yes.
I'm motivated to maybe work instead of another year, maybe another year and a half.
It's like a sister's keeper. And you don't think procurement has it, right? But we really as women have to be our sister's keeper. Mm-hmm. When we see the inkling, when we see that little, molecule of a potential to move into another space, we really need to take that and nurture it. Do not be ashamed of, oh, she might look at me funny. What is she gonna say? Is she really open? Because a lot of times we second guess why we do or don't approach the next woman to help move her, right? Like we're thinking she don't want it, she don't, whatever. Or she may not receive me well.
We might see something that we don't want to see. Yeah, but we got to get over that.
Or we're not comfortable enough, even embracing others. And so we have to work past all that because it's necessary. I love our allies, our male counterparts. Okay, we want y'all to watch the show too. But like we need other women to stand alongside us, knowing that we can be our authentic selves and vulnerable, and then still be able to excel and not do it alone, but do it together.
So that's one of the things that when I said iron sharper iron that I love about Stacy. You cannot let her know any of your dreams.
Don't tell her.
You can't tell her. You can't tell her. You can't even whisper anything.
Don't even think
she hears it. Then she's gonna push you and make you accountable to anything that you say. That's what she is.
Stacy is a psychic. Yeah. I'm gonna say that.
But she also encourages. She encourages not just in the procurement field. I have a sister and she likes to promote people. I have a sister that's she works for the university, but everybody got a little side hustle, and she likes to do treats. And we were just talking about you the other day. Stacy encourages her business by promoting, hey, can you do this? Or she's she just likes to encourage sisters.
Yeah.
She is a serious.
But that's our
leader.
responsibility to each other,
Yeah,
right?
yes, yes,
Okay.
yes.
So whether we are in procurement, whether we are in baking, whether we are in
That's right.
construction,
Mhm.
whether
That's
we
right.
are in accounting,
Yeah.
whether we are, holding our boutiques, because I know we got a lot of boutique women out there, we supposed to be supporting and lifting up the next one.
Yes,
That's right.
So that we can all get there.
that's right.
So we can-
Absolutely, and we even see it in the audience, so I cannot let it go by with Lucinda sitting right here, as if she's not one of the strongest encouragers of women
Yes.
in the city, right? And
Shout out
probably
Lucinda.
nationally.
Shout out.
So, and Lucinda will always take the time to build up the next sister, including me, so
Yes.
it's such a great appreciation.
Awesome,
Uh-huh.
awesome. I love it. I love it. So I'm gonna ask this last question before we move into a quick fun part, and then we're gonna be mindful of time to get ready to close us out. But what has been a challenge that you have experienced in your role, or just as a procurement practitioner in your journey, and how have you overcome it? What is a challenge that you want to share with the audience so that they can kind of have a roadmap on how to overcome it? Because challenges are gonna happen whether we want them to or not. They're inevitable. So.
I can start with that. One of my major challenges have been in a lot of years has been because I've been the only woman in the room, and most importantly, the only Black woman in the room a lot of times. And I'm not invisible, and I don't try to be invisible, because if the Lord brought you to the table, you need to partake of it in the table. Some people get to the table and then they forget about how they got there and who they're serving. We have to be accountable to our people, because when we have the opportunity to speak up, we need to speak up. So as a barrier, sometimes, you may be faced with people who want to overlook you, but I make sure that I'm heard, and I don't have to scream to be heard, but I make sure that I'm heard. And I also know my role. So if we're talking about purchasing, as a director of purchasing, you still got to go through me. You can't go around me. You still got to go through me. And I'm gonna make it easy for you. So you can make it easier, you can make it hard, but you still got to go through me. And so that's how I've overcome the barriers, by trying to just make them understand that, what the law is, but then what we're trying to do is to help them, get whatever it is that they need, within the law, but my major barrier has been just because I'm a woman, sometimes these male dominant roles. And being in construction, Lucinda might know about that. Sometimes they feel they know more than I would know, just because it's the construction.
Construction is an absolute male-dominated industry.
It is.
Even though we got GCs in the room that's female,
Yes.
shout out to GCs. Because it is about GCs and being female, being a Black female is an absolute minority. And in any industry, I think we do find ourselves having to oftentimes counteract mansplaining, having to counteract, assumptions of our intelligence and our
Yes.
capabilities because of that. And a lot of times, especially if we're in spaces that are typically male dominated, right? You get questioned more. So absolutely being able to work past that is a huge challenge. And I think it takes a lot of self-awareness of your competency and being okay with it unapologetically, and standing next to it and speaking to it when it needs to be spoken to. So absolutely, I love it. I love it. What about y'all? What are your challenges, or some, or one that you've experienced?
My challenges, I think, probably is in my role as procurement manager at the university. And I think a lot of it has to do with me yes, I'm still learning it.
Mhm.
I'm still learning. I'm working with a different group of people,
Mhm.
when I was with the state, my main thing when I would do a solicitation was, why I represent this agency, I'm not employed by this agency. Well, now, not only am I representing this agency, I'm employed by the agency. And you deal with so many different personalities.
Yes.
One thing I can say about the university, and state government, I worked at state procurement, and state procurement is the central procurement for all state agencies. Well, the university is a small central procurement office, and they have many, 7 other campuses, Clarissa, plus all these departments, but they have to come through us. So I've learned that the university is a mini central procurement. However, I work there, and if something does not go right and I can't give them what they want, I do have, they will go to Clarissa, or I will go to Clarissa. One thing of those challenges, she has my back. and she's teaching me, so that makes it easier, but I'm hard on myself. I'm hard on myself because I knew what I knew, a year ago, but now I'm learning something new, so that's a challenge, but it's more so internal.
Yeah, because we have to give ourselves grace, and for me, it's the realization that every time we go into a new space, there's the Peter principle that starts over. And so we have to understand that we gotta learn and get up to speed and be okay with that in that moment. Even if you got pressures around you telling you need to hurry up, it's like, no, here's the capacity in which I'm able to make sure I digest it so I can do a good job at the end of the day. But being okay with knowing that you're not gonna know it.
Yeah, I feel that Faith is her greatest. Anyway, she is one of the greatest IT people that I know.
Okay.
She is super with it,
Okay.
but it's just trying to navigate the university. That can be kind of daunting. Yeah.
So what about you, Stacy? And then we're gonna go into this and that after that.
So my biggest challenge has been myself, right? Because at the end of the day, you know what, we all know how much we poured into our careers, how much we poured into our learning. You know, I know how many nights I went to bed with textbooks and woke up with textbooks, how hard it was for me to be certified and to show my competency. I know that I'm teaching all these people all across the country, and then yet I still find myself in moments of uncertainty. Even though people are like, no, you got it. This is you. Yes, you got it. Why? And I think we probably all do that because we do all walk in spaces where we are in the minority, whether it be because of
Woman or race or, you know.
right. And so sometimes that question, because other people walk in the same space, have less experience than us, have less credentials, have less education, and somehow they fool themselves into thinking that they're the best thing since sliced bread, and they walk in the room like that, right? But then we walk in and we entertain uncertainty when it comes to ourselves. But sometimes it takes someone else saying, no, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Don't even do that. We're not accepting that.
Say no, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
That's what we said. Like from now on, and I'm putting that out to the audience
That's
too, if you
right.
watch it, from now on, it's a no, ma'am.
It's
a
no, ma'am.
sir.
It's a
When
no,
you
ma'am.
feel like
You know
it's
what you did to get to where you are,
Yeah.
and you belong there.
Yeah, it's owning, it's that self-awareness, owning everything about ourselves, good, bad, and different, and being okay with that. I love it. All right, so this is the fun part. Thank y'all for that. I know we've been going a little minute. We had a little Thai food at the earlier point, and thank you to the audience for hanging in.
Thank you,
with us.
audience.
Yeah. But this is where y'all really get to participate. So I always like to play this or that, and I'm gonna say one or the other word, and without thinking too hard. Make sure I put that out there. Without thinking too hard, you just say which first comes to mind, okay? And it's not tied to procurement because I just want to get to know, more about you as individuals. Okay. So pizza or burgers?
Pizza.
Burger.
Okay, so it looked like we heard more pizza on that one. I'm gonna go with pizza too.
Was Candace the only burger?
Burger. Right?
Oh,
So we had a burger. So everybody else was pizza.
Oh, that's 3 burgers.
We had 3 burgers. So how many is it? 7 of us in here, 8 of us in here. So the rest of us said
Y'all don't know.
If I had to choose, it would be pizza, but I don't do either.
Okay.
They say present.
So all this is if you did it, okay? If you did it, okay. Chocolate or vanilla?
Chocolate.
Ooh, vanilla girl.
Look at here. It's chocolate every time.
So I'm at Myrtle Beach, you all. I didn't tell you all. We are in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. And I am from Memphis, Tennessee, which is very, very far away from beaches. We got the Mississippi River, but it's nothing like Myrtle Beach. And I must say it's a beautiful place. So please come if you get opportunity. So here's the question. Beach vacation or mountain getaway?
Mountain getaway.
Ooh, everybody wanna go to the beach. You got a couple mountains. Okay, so we had somebody else mountain in the audience? Okay, everybody going to the beach, yeah. I think I'll go to the beach. I'll go to the beach. All right, iPhone or Android?
Android.
iPhone. Let's see. Absolutely. Okay, so morning person or night owl?
Night owl.
Morning person. I feel like I almost want to say night owl just because owls are my spirit animal. So, but Netflix or YouTube?
YouTube.
I'm a Netflix.
Yeah.
There's so much more on YouTube,
YouTube.
but I'm a Netflix. YouTube is free. Well, it depends because you
depends
can
on what
get premium. You can get
Well,
premium.
I'm big into my Korean movies right now, so I gotta say Netflix.
Okay, yeah. So when I want to watch my African movies, it's on Netflix. They got them all ready for me.
I'm gonna log into it all.
Oh, they got an African network.
A whole streaming network.
Well, no, it's not stream. It's on my regular cable.
Okay,
And it
okay.
says African, so I get all mine from there.
Okay, good deal.
Okay.
So now I gotta ask, who watches Tubi?
I've seen two.
We got Tubi. I hadn't watched Tubi and I just hear things about Tubi. Lots of commercials. Okay. Even if you pay?
Oh, I'm not paying.
Okay, okay.
The reason I like procurement,
Mhm.
yes, you get to spend other people's money. See, if I get Tubi Premium, I'm spending my money.
Right.
Right. That's true. All right, couple more. Dancing or singing?
Singing.
Singing. Okay, okay. So no dancing in here.
Nobody wants to see me dance.
I-
Candace said dance.
I thought we had line dancing
I
going on.
I can do what I can't do.
All right, here's a good one. Texting or calling?
Calling.
Texting.
You know what? I'm not surprised.
I love
Yeah.
it.
I will start with texting.
Yeah, cause it ain't
And
always.
if it's really urgent, I'll just call.
I'm not gonna see that text.
Like, plus if you text me, I get to determine how I want to engage with you.
Right.
I might not want to, right?
I've been told, well, when I text you, that don't mean you call me. You're supposed to text me back.
That's dance with me.
I'm just trying to give you information texting, but if I'm trying to have a conversation.
Yeah.
I love it.
You're right. The most of the time, I just want something quick. I don't.
It's like, boom, right.
No, she texted, I'm outside and you got sorry. Like, I didn't see it.
I want you to hear.
Okay.
Okay, hear me.
So we just entered a new season. We're approaching winter. I guess we're kind of fall now. So we doing summer or winter?
Summer.
Summer. Yeah. You can't take enough clothes off. You still hot. Y'all don't know that in the summer.
I don't like to be slipping on ice.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
The real deal is fall, spring.
Right.
It's a better weather. Yeah.
Yes.
Obviously.
I like spring in South Carolina minus the pollen.
Oh, the pollen. Yeah,
Minus the pollen.
yeah, the allergies, yeah, the pollen in Memphis is the worst, All right, so I think this will be the last one. Let me see if I can make it good. We're gonna go comedy or drama.
Comedy.
Comedy. Did somebody, who said drama? Can you just?
Candace said,
You said drama. Yeah.
I like it.
Me
Yeah.
too.
I think to keep it
there's
light
so
like
much
that.
going on right now.
But I do like drama, especially if they're suspenseful and I've got to use the
You
part
and
where it
Tyler
makes
Perry,
sense.
aren't you?
No, I hate time.
Not lifetime.
Like,
Okay.
don't like.
Not a fan of Tyler Perry.
No.
I would say sometimes I wonder how long is the scene gonna go on? Like, is this scene like 12 hours
Right.
or
But you can get a dramedy now. They have dramedies.
dramedy?
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
This combination of the comedy.
Okay.
and the dramedy.
Okay, we're gonna have to find it.
Look at that, or something just something wholesome, just join me.
So we have to find it.
Korean flicks, I'm trying to tell you.
Oh,
Okay. And you have this on Netflix.
Wholesome, you know, scenes, and there's no cussing, there's no violence, you know, all of this, and then the love scenes is, you know, you right here and he over there. And they might kiss one time.
It's not American love scene.
No, ain't nothing like
Yeah,
that.
they in the room half a second. It's a baby that showed up next. We don't know who the baby belongs.
When I say wholesome, it's wholesome, take me back.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. Oh, but this has been fun. We're back to wrapping it up. So one thing that I think is important when I do this is, you know, Women Leaders Walk the Talk, we get a chance to hear from each of you. And we are all best friends. I always say anybody that come on the show, we best friends. And my audience, we are best friends.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But as much as I can connect with you all, I want to make sure that I'm always creating a platform where we can further support you all So if there are any initiatives, or even if there's just someone who wants to reach out and say, hey, can you drop me some nuggets on how to move through your space? If you're open to it, what's the way we can contact you? What's something you want to share with the audience for us to be able to connect with you? And if you don't have anything about connection, what's one last thing you want to leave with the audience?
Well, I'm at the university and university purchasing site.
Okay.
It's probably easier just to go out there to find us. And Anita, you're right down. You're right down the street. No, you're not. I'm at 1600 Hampton. I thought I was still on Main Street. Oops. But hey, you know what? It's still close. We need to get together for lunch sometime. Then you just keep it going.
Y'all
That's what
see
I
this, we're
like.
making connections in the studio.
I heard that cafe over there, so maybe.
Yes. They have the chef salad. Don't make Clarissa go down there at least twice a week.
So I hear that you can connect with, say, University of South Carolina.
Yeah, FW8.
Yep, if you want to get in contact with her. Or, and I will even say for all of these ladies, and I think this is a very transparent way to say this, because this is available to any vendor that addresses our website. If you all are looking to do business with South Carolina State University or University of South Carolina, and you want to do business, there is opportunity. I always say this all the time. There is so much money in the country for vendors. It's about tapping into it and being prepared. So I just want to say that out loud. If you're looking to do business in South Carolina, these ladies are a good starting point so you can best understand the process and navigate it correctly. So
Absolutely.
with that, how can we get in contact with you, Stacy? What do you have?
So, Gmail,
Okay, if you want to leave that.
Stacy Gregg, STACYGREGG, and it's CPPO, as in Charlie Paul Octagon @gmail.com.
At Gmail. So that's how you can get in touch with Stacy, the Stacy Gregg. All right. And Clarissa, how can we get in touch with you?
You can get in touch with me for business. You can get in touch with me at the University of South Carolina, Clark CG2 at mailbox.sc.edu.
Awesome, awesome. So again, this isn't about just feeling good. Yeah, we laughed. I think we got some really good information, but you all get tactical resources to take with you, as well as you now have in your toolkit 3 more resources for you all if you're trying to look to do business or just want to maybe get into the industry and learn more about procurement. With that, I want to invite all of you to join the Greater You Leadership Series. Our website is www.thegreateryouleadership.com, and we are simply the leadership and development agency that helps to develop leaders from the inside out while keeping the greater you in mind. And so we are here for you. We're on all social media platforms. And as always, thank you to my audience. I want to shout y'all out. Y'all are my first live audience. I'm telling y'all, it's a big deal. Catch me in 2 years. They're like, I knew her. They knew me. And I know them. And I'm so grateful that you all chose to come. And so, as always, to my audience, thank you all. You all can go watch the replay on all of our platforms, including YouTube and Spotify. And I always like to leave with, let's lead. All right. You all have a great one.
Yes.
Yeah.